Today is, of course, a beautiful day because after a lot of efforts, I could convince my coach, retired Air Commodore Neeraj Yadav sir, to come here along with me to share his wisdom with the audience, with me, and endow me with a lot of incredible things that I may not find in my life. आज का जो टॉपिक है, पहले मैं आगे बढ़ने से पहले टॉपिक को इंट्रोड्यूस हम थोड़ा सा बाद में करते हैं. सर के बारे में थोड़ा सा बताना चाहूँगा. व्हाई आई वांटेड टू इनवाइट हिम टू दिस टॉक शो दैट वी आर गोइंग टू डू हियर, बिकॉज around 3 years back when I was struggling to build this motivate me, eventually it happened in my life that sir came at my doorstep and he started talking to me saying कि हाँ आकाश क्या करता है, कैसे है. He started inquiring and everything, and then he spent valuable time of his life of around 1 year to coach me, and he owns a big share in the growth of motivate me. And जो भी चीज़ें अभी I am able to do in motivate me, I should say have a blend of his wisdom that he has coached me through that tough style that I went through when he was teaching me those things. So sir जो है, as I shared, he's Air Commodore Neeraj Yadav. He used to fly fighter planes and he has served the nation being an Air Commodore. Apart from that, he coached me, and rest of the things I would request sir to share if I am missing out something about his profile.
No, it's not that you're missing out. It is just that there is a wrong notion about the rank structure and retirement issues. My name is Air Commodore Neeraj Yadav, retired.
Okay.
My name, I have retired, my rank does not retire. So it is never Air Commodore retired. It is Air Commodore, my rank will remain with me. And I'm very proud of that I served in the Indian Air Force. So I want to associate my rank with the pride and the opportunity I had to serve the nation in the form of a Air Force officer. The retired word should come after the name and not after the rank. That's the right way of putting it. No, most of the people don't understand that, and they don't know that, but it has been clarified time and again in various forums by all three services कि you should not put retired after the rank. It should be after the name.
Okay.
You have retired, not the rank.
That's a thing that I think most people, as you told,
Yes.
can miss that. So now the agenda of today's video is quite amazing because I just want to always remain in touch with him. Why? Because it reminds me a doha of Kabir Das ji, निंदक नियरे राखिए आंगन कुटी चबाए बिन पानी साबुन में ना निर्मल करे सुभाए. तो नीरज sir has been that nindak in my life. He always criticizes me, he thrashes my ideas, he questions my beliefs that I may not be able to discard or question or leave them, and that is the moment that I face in my life, quite undealable or quite haphazard, and that's when I think of changing myself. So he is that person who actually triggers that movement of change in my mind. So as I do a lot of discussions with him, last time when I met him, we had discussion about money, and in his career, in his life, he has been able to deal with money quite authentically, quite wisely, and he has got different perspective in almost everything in my point of view, because he used to touch the sky almost every day or every week during his flying. So his perspective is a cut above. That's why I think his perspective can help us. So according to my ability, I would be asking certain questions to you, sir, and I would request you to educate us and simplify the thing that can help us live our life in a better sense. So I would like to talk about money. Why? First of all, because sir, मैंने देखा है कि हमारे life में you also see, you observe a lot of things, a lot of people, कि people are always feeling so much overwhelmed about money. They don't know how to deal with money. Those who don't have money, they are finding it absolutely difficult to earn money. Or those who have earned money, they are finding it difficult to deal with the money, to manage the money, and Why? Because money is something, that is not the only thing that runs our life. But the thing is that because we are behind money, we are forgetting all the aspects of our life. So for that, in your simple words, I request you to proceed with the first question that comes to my mind, and that should be defined to the people like me, to the youth who is going to enter into their career, and they might miss lot of life that they can live because they may get attracted towards money or attached to money. So what is money that we should understand in our life when we start or going to enter this materialistic world?
You see, it is a very important subject, no doubt about it. But before that, we need to understand the difference between the means and the end.
Okay.
What are the means and what are the end achievement you want to achieve? Is it a means or is it an end? Money was designed initially as an instrument to trade goods and services. To transact. If I want to buy something, I need money. Initially, it was a barter system. Then it got switched to money because it was an easier way of doing it. And next step, it became a means of security because you are not in a position to work and earn your livelihood. So some sort of, for rainy days when you save, it becomes a source of security for elderly people. That was the initial design. But what happened over a period of time? With money, you could buy a lot of things. And then people started fantasizing. And then money gradually became the end. Then people started earning money only to have more lot of money. That became the end in itself. That's where the problem started. Because money earned through legal and fair means will depict your capability. But if it is earned through unfair means or whatever means, then it is not your capability. Then it is your greed, and then it becomes an end, and then all the associated things, ills that one can have will come from money. So we should understand what is your objective. You want to continue as a means, or you want to have unlimited kind of money. Because what happens is, somewhere down the line you have to say, what is enough? Do you need more money? Because what happens sometimes, and the figure can change. To simplify it further, how do you define rich and poor?
Okay.
Who's rich? Anyone?
We think that the person who has got more money is rich, and the person who is struggling to get more money is poor.
So what happens is, more is not a linear thing. For some, 1 billion or 1 crore is more. For an outsider chap who's working as a laborer, for him maybe 1 lakh is too much of money.
Okay.
So it's not a well-defined figure. Whereas this definition of rich and poor is very simple. It is the clarity in our own mind. Then we have to understand what is money. If I have more than what I need, if my needs and basic facilities, basic desires are met by 100 rupees, and if I have 101, then I'm rich. So if your needs and whatever, what I say, legitimate desires, I not said because the desires can have no limits, basic needs, roti, kapda, makan, and now education also becomes part of it. If those are met,
okay,
but it is a regular income, not just one-time figure. So if I achieve that figure, let's say I work out real money I'm talking about, because inflation also comes into play. So catering for inflation, if my regular expenditure I calculate is, let's say for example, 100 rupees a month I should get.
Okay.
And this real value remains so much so that my basic needs are met. And if I am earning more than 100 rupees, then I'm rich. Whereas for the same guy who maybe require 100 rupees, but he wants more money, then he will always remain poor because his denominator is very different. So it's numerator and denominator. If you have your numerator so high, then you will always remain poor. You can never become rich because there's no limit. 1 billion, you say 2 million, billion. That is called Indian ka fair. When you achieve 99, you want 100. When you achieve 99,000, you become 1 lakh. So it carries on. Then you are always poor. Then there is no limit to that. So you have to compare it with what you have and what is enough. So one, that is my understanding of,
So what I am able to get till now from here, first of all, I would like to share with you that the kind of perspective you are providing me is something that I may not listen from people around normally, because normally people only relate the term money with currency. Some notes, 2000 rupees, 50 rupees, 100 rupees, 500 rupees, and the more they have, the more they want,
Because
and
it is-
how it brings satisfaction to them.
it also reflects on our basic human tendency to see what we don't have. Very rarely we value what we have. And that's where most of the problem starts. I'm not seeing the money that I have in the bank. I want more.
I understand.
So otherwise what I have in the bank and what, whatever government or otherwise I get as a pension or my retirement funds or my regular income, I take that for granted. That's a given. I should get more.
Okay.
That is where the problem starts. But if I start looking at what I have, I say I have so much of money, I am rich, and my needs are very basics. Actually, my needs are, if I tell you frankly, because I have my own house, I just need 10,000-15,000 rupees a month. Basic minimum. And if you put emergency into it, for my whatever something doesn't work out right or for rainy days, government gives me enough money, more than what I need. Actually, I must tell you that. Government should not start cutting down the pensions. That is not the idea. The other guys will, come after me. But otherwise, the government gives you enough to survive. I don't need to do anything extra job. I don't need to bother about anything. I can live peacefully and maybe help out certain people in whatever way I can.
So, do you think that this condition you are in, do you think that in this condition you can provide this perspective, but the audience as a viewer might say, sir, you have served the nation, you have done a good job, you are getting enough pension, but we have to build different source of our income, as you accepted in your words itself, ki I'm getting enough money, government is giving good pension, and my daily expenditures are 15,000 can be individual expenditures, and that is, I think, a good expenditure. We cannot say it is less. So how about the people who are in the struggling phase? For them, how it should be defined? Because if you relate just with the needs, so the needs will also keep changing as they grow. Okay.
Actually needs don't change much. Our greed and desire normally take us to the other path.
Okay.
See, what happens is, if you there are a lot of job opportunities available. If you do any job, normally a job pays you okay, well, as long as you don't, throw away your money in various other forms like gambling and other issues. So, and secondly, pension. Now the pension system is going to go gradually because government cannot afford to give pension to everybody now. So gradually, from most of the services, pension thing is gone, except for military, which also with short service commission and other issues, they are reducing the burden on the government because we can't afford it. It's plain and simple. It is plain maths. But what happens is, any civil employee or any government employee who does not get retirement benefits or not benefits but does not get the pension, doesn't mean that you cannot create your own pension. You can create your own pension funds. Now the option is available, various schemes are available. You can generate your pensions. That you must do to achieve financial security in old age. Okay. There are ways and means of making your government also did that. They could have given us more money in the beginning and tell you to have your own pension fund. That is possible, and that's going to happen now. Most of the companies, most of the private employees, they give you this option to have a pension fund. You can create a pension fund. But their requirements also have to be defined. You should know. Greed should not take over. Only the needs-based approach you have, you can never be poor.
So finally, after asking you the same question, other way around, I come to understand this, that the money, if you want to define, should be defined in the context of the needs. So because our needs are not well defined, we fail to understand and focus on the needs. We remain confused about the concept of money.
Yes, I'll give you an example, very simple example. What are the needs of a child? You start in the beginning.
Okay.
You give food, clothing, home, education. You are bearing the expenses.
Yes.
So child, is looking up to you. You work out expenditure of a child. You put a figure to it. Then you give him a pocket money because he needs something beyond that. He wants to buy a chocolate or he wants to buy some snacks. So that is normally the thing. But if you give him good food, these requirements don't come up. Actually, he does not require pocket money. But maybe when you're dealing with peers, you go out together on a picnic. you need some pocket money. Let us say you have a lot of money, you are a rich man,
Hmm.
and you start giving your child 1 lakh rupees a month as pocket money.
Okay.
What do you think he's going to do with that money?
Something beyond
Because
his basic needs.
because if you can give 1 lakh rupees a month, obviously he gets best of the food, best of the clothing, best of the house to live in. I mean, he as it is has the best of environment that he can find, that money can buy. Now on top of that, he has access to this 1 lakh rupees a month. What do you think that guy is going to do with that money? I don't need anybody's opinion, because we all know how he's going to spend that money.
Yes.
You are taking away his life from him. He's going to get spoiled. He will go into all the things which a child should not do. And then you start blaming the child. Actually, no. Giving access to extra money is the main problem.
Hmm.
You have to keep telling him the value of money. I hope you understand money has a value. Money comes at a big cost. If you give extra money to somebody, it comes a very big cost. You pay through your health and a lot of other associated things. So what happens is, if you stick to the needs you can have a good quality. I'm not saying, education can be good quality, clothes can be of good quality.
Correct.
And food can be of good quality. Once you give that quality, you can increase the cost factor. It will just increase a little bit. But the moment you go beyond that, then you are going into the other dark area of desires and expectations, and then there is no end. And I don't know which this path can lead you where. So these values have to be given when he is a child, and he needs to understand this value for him.
So, please allow me to define money in the context I understand. I understand that we got to identify our needs, we got to identify our values, and for the fulfillment of those needs at a rich level also it can be defined. I'm not saying that you have to only limit yourself with the basic roti, kapda and makan. You can define your own needs in your own context. Okay, and yes, it does not mean that, okay, I'll go in Jaguar only kind of thing. So to bring fulfillment to our desires, to our needs and to our values, money is an instrument. Do we agree with that, sir?
Yeah, it is.
So it can be a takeaway, for the first takeaway when we wanted to define what is money, sir. Now, the next thing that I would like to ask you or just discuss is, how does money create problem in our life? Because it's not like, okay, we are not the big nuts, everybody has got certain money. Somebody has got 1 lakh in his or her bank account, somebody has got 10 lakhs in his or her bank account, but still and somebody who has not got money in his bank account, but all the people are in problem. So I'm not saying, please allow me to complete my goal. I'm not saying that all these problems are because of the absence of spiritual enlightenment, or these problems are not just because of the because of the health issues, but somewhere the chaos that is programmed by the individual in order to design his own behavior to run after money brings all the chaos to the life. So how does this create the problem in our life?
See, the main problem comes when we start comparing.
Okay.
Because beyond certain stage, when you compare, you go to the next level of showing off.
Mm-hmm.
You want to show to the whole world that you are rich. You want to show to the world that you have a big car. Otherwise, you have a communication means, that's good enough. You want to show to the world that you have a very big house. You have a branded clothes. You have everything, of top of the line. That is basically showing off, and it comes with a comparison when you start comparing. But if you stick to your own requirements, you will find the need and the requirement of money starts coming down, because showing off has no limits. Again, you go on to the next stage. Initially you show off your friends, then you want to show off to the world, and then there is and beyond certain stage you realize you cannot be better, you cannot be number one, because today you are number one, tomorrow you will be number two, because somebody else will overshoot you. So there is no end to the race. So if you are in a race, you cannot be number one always. And if you felt happy in a race, then you're going to be frustrated also in the race. So at certain time you must decide. There's now time to come out of the race and be an observer. You find much more happiness. You realize why is he running so fast? Why is he, where does he want to go? What does he want to achieve? He already has so much money. I've seen I've heard about them. People people are billionaires, and then they lose their all money. And somebody asks, why did he lose all the money? I mean, was he not happy with what he had already? So that the question comes, what is enough? You have to define it for yourself. Nobody else can define it for himself. But one can guide you to say, this is enough for me. I don't want to be in the race. I want to observe now. See things and not remain in the race. Because if you remain in the race, the happiness and frustrations go along with it.
So, very beautiful idea indeed. I did not expect this to come. I was expecting you to talk in the technical term concept of money, but here it is much more simply explained in my point of view. You are saying that the comparison is the beginning of problem, and the comparison begins when we actually are not able to define how much is enough. So once we define, okay, this much is enough for me, we stop comparing. And when we stop comparing, we start leading our life with a sense of satisfaction and happiness. And it is not the halt, or it is not the stop where we stop earning money. But after this also we earn money, but then the problem is not there. Is this something?
No, see, what happens is, the whole purpose of living life is not to earn money. That is where we get confused. Money is to live life. Living life is not for money.
Okay.
When we say stop earning money, why are you earning money beyond certain stage when you don't need? So what the whole issue is, in the beginning the money was designed for you so that you can live certain kind of life. Now what we are doing is we are living that life to have certain kind of money. So whole thing has changed.
I understand.
If I am living the life I want to live, why do I want to earn more money? That purpose was never there to that was not the objective. That was not the aim. The aim was to live life, not live life to earn money.
My God, such a fantastic idea, sir. Honestly speaking, guys, for this I just particularly demand a permission to put my perspective on
Yes,
this.
please.
So as you are saying, we want to live life, okay, but what happens is we want to devote this life to earn money. Then the problem occurs. For living life, let's say, suppose we earned a good money, then what do we want? In particular, my point of view, let's say, when I have received some certain amount of money, what I think, okay, now go and sit at the canal and enjoy some peace. And that's where I think it is life. What I want to do, I just want to enjoy with my kids. I just want to laugh. I just want to play with them. Then I find, okay, this is life. I want to spend my time with my mother. I just want to massage my father's feet. Then I feel, okay, it is life. But when I have lived life, then again I come in the trap of earning money. But at that time, I forget that money is already there. But what happens that to living life, we go coincidentally. But in the race of money, we are permanently. This is what I think I understood.
So I'll put it a little more in a simple manner. Let's say you start your career and you earn 100 rupees. And you identify that I'm giving a case in simple where 100 rupees is adequate. In certain cases it may not be adequate. 100 rupees is a notional figure. So if 100 rupees, I realize that my daily needs get fulfilled in 25 rupees. So I should do that, and I need 25 days to save for the rainy days, so I should do that saving part. Then I find for entertainment I need some money, so I should keep 25 rupees for my entertainment and variation, and 25 rupees I have to purchase things to build up my home. And so that's how I divide my 100 rupees. Let us say I don't have 100, I have only 75.
Okay.
So things you think things get complicated? No, it becomes easy. Because decision making is easier for me. I remove the part which is not essential.
Okay.
I remove my entertainment part in the beginning. Then I get only, let's say I get only 50. I remove that building of house later on, because right now basic 25 rupees I definitely need. The second most important part is saving for the rainy day. I must get into habit of saving some money for rainy day, because that money ultimately I can use it for my entertainment also, for building up my house also, and for my rainy days also. So that's how you have to divide right from the word go. But if you earn 100 rupees and you spend 110 rupees, then sooner or later you are, you're asking for trouble. You will start going on the wrong side.
So along with having a mindset of recognizing and identifying your need and relating it with how you define money, you are also proposing us to have a tendency or a habit or a ritual of saving money for the difficult times.
I thought you will ask me a question. Let's say you have less than 25 rupees of money. You didn't ask me that question.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Because the next stage is, yes, say your needs are 25 rupees and you earn only 20 rupees. So you have two options.
Okay.
Either reduce your needs or increase your income.
Hmm.
So you have to work extra. Maybe give tuitions if you are educated. Maybe do some labor work if you're not educated. But you have to work extra. Simultaneously, you have to reduce your need.
Hmm.
So that your figure goes beyond 25, and that beyond 25 figure you must start saving. This requires a lot of discipline and understanding and your long-term goals, because you have to have your kids in mind, because you have to ultimately, unless you are in that category where you don't want to have a family, and even then you will get old and you will need, you may end up needing more money because you have nobody to support you. So ultimately you have to find, you have to reduce your needs if need be, or increase your work. I will give you an example of what all things are important in life, which is more important than even earning money.
Okay.
It is not just earning money that we need to live life. There are so many other associated things. I can identify 4 or 5 things for a man, for anybody, for a man, woman, or anybody for that matter. He needs basic, certain kind of securities. The basic most security is financial security, which we just talked about.
Okay.
That means that 25 rupees which you require, which I gave the example, you have to have. So either you reduce that 25 for a few days, but you must strive to increase that money little bit to achieve that 50 rupees minimum. And if you have 100, then you are definitely, and it goes along without saying that your skill level should also come into play. Otherwise, pure labor will not get you so much of money. You must develop some skill also. After having financial security, you have to ensure that you have your physical security. Security in terms of, security from crime, security from dacoity, security from somebody attacking you. And then your health angle comes into play. That means you have to have somewhere in the routine where your health remains fit. Otherwise, you cannot continue for very long. So, financial security is on a lower level. Physical security is higher, because if somebody comes and kills you, then where is that security required anymore? That is why we have armed forces, so that our country can live. The main purpose of armed forces is so that external aggression does not take place and people of the country can sleep well. But same thing we require at house level also. Outsiders should not come into your house, and so that security you have to build. That's why you need more than 25 rupees I mentioned. And if your health is not there, then you cannot enjoy anything in life. So you have to give equal focus to health. Now you have financial security,
Okay.
you have physical security, you have health security as part of it. Now you need a satisfaction level for yourself. That means whatever you do, whatever work you do, whichever area you work on, you have to be good at that. Your peers should recognize you. He knows he's a good guy. Like when as a child he plays football, what does he like to hear? Everybody saying so and so person plays very well. Because if you're not good at your job, somewhere down the line there will be a blank in your mind.
Empty.
You will not be happy. So you must strive to be good in whatever you do.
Okay.
Once you achieve that, then that it cannot be substituted with money.
Yeah.
Extra money will not give you that satisfaction level, and if you don't have that satisfaction level, you cannot live a normal life. Last but not the least is your emotional security. Emotional security is provided by the family. Where you were born, you had no choice. But whatever you have to make good with that. When you get married, there you have a choice. So you must be very careful. That is one of the most important decisions of your life. When you marry, you must marry the choice of your, whatever choice you have, because that is what will give you the emotional security. The next level is when you have kids. You must try to make the kids that you will be proud of. Your children, your wife, Your family gives you the emotional security. And of course, parents come along with that. Then you are in a position to look after your parents. They can be proud of their child, that you have a capable child. Because if this emotional security is not there, no amount of money can help you. No amount of your job satisfaction. You may be best in your field, you may be the richest man, you may be the healthiest man. You will not be healthy if your emotional health is not okay. So health will, one part of the health, that is emotional health, will not be looked after. Once you understand this is a wholesome package. Now you can imagine where money fits into that.
So you have not only helped us understand where the problem starts, but also I am able to see vividly how I can create a sense of fulfillment in my life with little money, and then think beyond how much I need or how much can be enough.
No, I am also telling you the value of money.
Okay.
Where does this money stand? Money has no value if other things are not
I
there.
do understand.
So you may have earned a lot of money, but you realize it's a waste of time.
Emotional security not there, then no value. Physicality.
So
not
if
there.
you want, this is the value of money. It's not that the value of a item. Let's say cost of a TV is 10,000 rupees. What is the value of money? So you have to understand, where does money stand? What does it actually represent? So value of money comes in only when you have a normal life. Otherwise, people can go bonkers with all the money that they have.
So sir, I would be taking you to the third thing that is in my mind, dancing an idea or a question. So people normally have a tendency of thinking, पैसा होगा तो सब बदल जाएगा, मैं बदल जाऊंगा, मेरी लाइफ बदल जाएगी और ये दुनिया बदल जाएगी. So up to what extent this thought can be correct? How does money change the world? How can money change the world in your context, in your point of view?
See, value of thing, basically what happens is, if you don't have something, then you understand the value of that thing.
Okay.
People who don't have money, they will be talking only about money because they don't have money. That is the first level of security. I am not saying value of money, the money is of no value if you don't have emotional security, but if you have no money, you cannot go to the next level. So money is essential very essential from that point of view. But having achieved that, then money is not everything. Then just a means. So you have to understand where to say enough. The whole idea is, I am not suggesting that money is not important. Money is very important.
Okay.
Because the first security is also required. Money is going to give you basic needs. And if money is not there, you cannot get basic needs. You cannot give your child an education. It's important. But to say, some people say, money is like God. Even if it is not God, then it is not lesser than God. These statements are only for, saying, for the sake of saying, just to highlight a point. Otherwise, this is a very absurd statement. But I am not trying to say money is not important. It is very important. Because the first stage is that only. In fact, in our old books, in fact, even I think Sri Ram also must have mentioned sometime that poverty is the biggest crime, Garib hona ek paap hai ek tarah se, because you are not crossed that first stage. And in today's philosophy also says, some people who don't have money, like there is a very famous quote I read in my school books, poor men's smoky cabins are not always the porticos of moral philosophy. तुम किसी गरीब बच्चे आदमी से जो भूखा है उससे फिलॉसफी की बात करोगे तो सुनने वाला नहीं है. First you have to feed him. So that's where the money comes in. Basic needs have to be then only you can rise, then you go to the next level. But to have a complete life, fulfilling life, that is the first step. And that's that
you told earlier, the fulfillment, emotionality,
yes,
physicality and all.
So money has its place, but that's it. It cannot cater for other things. There is a term called parallels. They're all parallels.
How much is enough? When is it enough? This remains a big question in my mind as well, and I think audience will also ask this question. What are the parameters that I understand in my heart deep down? Okay, now it is enough, because now it is enough is something that our greed will never allow us to define at the right point of time. So my question was, how can it change the world? How does money change the world? Okay, you told me, you helped me understand this idea. Okay, Akash, that I mean, right now you just told कि value of money is there, of course, and money is something that can take us to the next level. So, what is that next level? It means ultimately we are saying, okay, now let's not remain satisfied. Let's prepare to go to the next level. So, we have to be satisfied, or we have to think of going to the next level. Because if we think of next level, then ultimately, then it is unstoppable journey.
No, no, it's not that. See, ultimately, what happens as human beings, we have a spiritual angle. Animals, the basic needs is the animal way of living life. When you say next level, the food, you cannot just live your entire life, eating food and sleeping and basic needs. Basic needs, you cannot live your life at basic needs. If you have lived life at basic needs, that means you have lived an animal's life. But you want to progress emotionally or spiritually, then you have to rise above this. That's what I'm trying to say. Otherwise, you'll not feel it. You'll not be a normal man, normal human being, average human being, or I would use the word, otherwise you can have abnormal behavior. Normal psychology requires all these to be satisfied. Somewhere down the line, you will find you're not abnormal.
So somewhere I think I should understand here that the money can of course change the world, but if we create a balance between the worldly things and the internal world things.
When you say money and world together, there's another aspect to it: disparity of income.
Mm-hmm.
If you see, you may be very rich, or you have everything, and you live in a jungle, where people around you don't have anything. You cannot live happily. Firstly, that you will feel bad yourself. It's like it's a form of vulgarity. Second thing will be you'll be attacked. They will not let you live peacefully. So somewhere down the line, the distribution of money is equally important. See, so that's why this form of capitalism, communism, various forms of government have come in to find which is ideal. There is no ideal. Maybe the combination of 2, 3 may be required. I am not an expert in that line. But some of the countries where the welfare state they call, where the state looks after basic needs, they have their own problems. Somewhere there's capitalism where you get as per your work. There are problems with that, because once you ahead in the race, then you can't be caught up easily, because even if you get 1% interest on your wealth, that 1% is more than the income of half the population of that country. And there are a lot of countries. You can take example of India in itself. You find there are some people who are so rich and some people who are so poor. This kind of disparity can lead to problem, and one of the problem is the security problem.
Okay, so with this I would like to move, and let's move towards the conclusive part, where in just key points I would request you to define for us what can be the right, correct money psychology that we can follow in just 1 or 2 aspects. Okay, this is how I define money, this is how I want to look at the money, this is how I want to look at my life situation, and this is how money contributes from my life situation living. Of course, you in a different way, you have told all things in one or other way, but if let's say some analogies with some example, if I can have these, let's say, lessons that the session ends with, what is right money psychology that people should adopt in their lives. With that, even if they forget everything, this psychology, these key points, let's say you mentioned some quotation, because that quotation is there, some conviction has taken place. So some money psychology that can be put in the key points, that ultimately सारा सेशन भी भूल जाऊँ तो this money psychology can help me drive my behavior in the right direction.
Yeah, see, we in other terms we call it ballpark figures. Somewhere we call the ready reckoner. These terms we use so that, because if we get confused, then we should come back to basics and remind ourselves.
Correct. Yes.
So what I understand is we are slaves of our habits. So whatever habits we create, we normally follow. So we should keep changing that, keep reviewing our habits, and keep changing them so that we lead a normal, happy life. How do you define this normal, happy life? How do you, because things are changing very rapidly. What I would say is, if you keep this in mind, how I spend my 24 hours every day is my definition of life.
Okay.
If I think every day 24 hours are okay, I have given equal emphasis on my health, equal emphasis on my earnings, equal emphasis on my emotional needs, and routine has been good. I sleep well, I eat well, and I laugh a lot. I talk to my friends. Then I'll be living a normal and happy life. If there is something missing, then I must change something in my habits. That means my habits are not right. Then I should change something in the habit. Maybe I am too stubborn. Maybe I'm too arrogant in my behavior. Maybe I'm too much involved in my work because my family, I don't have time for my family. Somewhere down the line I must change, and I need to constantly review it. It's a closed loop system. I make a change, I see the effect. I make another change, I see the effect, and I keep constantly doing it. I may not achieve that perfect circle, but I will constantly improve. Maybe I'll achieve 90%, 80%, 70%. But I must review every night, did I live my day well or not? If I did not live well, which only I know, I may say that to others people, because it hurts my pride when I say I'm not living happily, I'm not happy. And if you take my experience on that, most of us are not living a happy life. Most of us. And we don't want to change because we think we are right, because our ego hurts. So we have to every day analyze, and don't tell anyone, because you cannot lie to yourself. You're tossing and turning in the bed. You have an acidity problem. You know that you're not talking to your friends properly. You're not laughing a lot. You must change that. And in that package, every day, whatever I told you about these securities, everything comes in that daily package. Exercise also comes, food habits also come, the way you interact with people also comes, the way you work also comes, everything comes in that 24 hours. So that is the figure and measure you must, you can review every day, you must review end of the day.
So, as I asked you that what can be correct money psychology, how can I connect what you have told with this question? What is correct money psychology?
So if I give equal weightage to everything, the money psychology comes with enough and greed. If I am into the greed, let us say, I will give an example. Money psychology, what you're trying to bring to is, there are various ways people are earning money. Some people are gambling directly. Some people are into the share market. Some people are into the business. Some people are earning through casual labor. We are all earning money through various means. But there is one way which everybody thinks a quick way to make money is either to gamble. People play cards in the clubs. People put in money in the share market. Do that. But they are all towards somewhere down the line they are gambling. I'm not saying some people are investing also. It's called investment also. But there is a very thin line dividing gambling and investing. Because we are thinking of a future trend. If I buy this house, will the rate go up? Maybe sometime it will go up, sometime it may come down. Like yesterday's news, China's market is crashing. I just heard the news, the richest woman has lost almost 50% of the wealth. Sometimes the share market is going up, you make a lot of money, sometimes it crashes and all your earnings go. You don't know. But I would still say it is a very thin line between investment and gambling, and one must be very, very careful about, there is no quick way of earning money. To my mind, there's only one way of making money. You work and get paid for it. That is the only way I understand. Rest all I have experienced, I have done it, and I have regretted doing that.
So I should understand the thin line between the enough and the greed.
Yes.
And that's how I can be able to define right money psychology in all aspects of my life.
I forgot to use the famous term, don't put your eggs in the same one basket. So if you have money, you want saving for a rainy day, put it in various baskets. And there are some very conservative, like PPF and fixed deposit and other things. And some are non-conservative, like real estate. Though it's considered as you must have a house in any case for your own, and you have maybe one more house. But don't put all the money in the housing only, because there will be a housing crash also. There can be a housing crash also. Don't put all your money in share market. Don't put all money. So that part also has to be understood. If you want to put some money, long-term investment, I would recommend.
Thank you so much, sir, for giving us this much of valuable time, and I just want to thank my audience as well, to you especially, that you have taken out your valuable time, and I believe that we have decided to sit together here, and this meeting, this talk show, this sharing by sir is going to help you and create more wealth I should not say, but more satisfaction in the way you live and the way you lead your life yourself, and brings fulfillment to your own life, along with enough money that is enough according to you, that you can be able to define well. Thank you so much, sir, for being here and motivate
No,
me.
but I would also like to add, I hope I have not sent the message that wealth creation is bad. It is not bad. Wealth creation is good, but it should limit to that.
Thank you very much, sir.